Hey guys, what's going on? I just got off the Pyroland roller coaster and my head is spinning. Though I'm going to say, not spinning quite as much as this demo man's. Nice shot. Anyways, the topic of this video is the Scorch shot and what it can do for you as a Pyro player. Scorch shot is the only new weapon for the Pyro that came out during the Pyromania update. Yes, the only weapon because the others are just reskins. Reskins with cool taunts, but reskins. What can I say about this weapon? It has 50 less damage than all the other flare guns. Doesn't crit on anybody, but there is a knockback effect, so that when it hits your enemies, they get knocked back, a lot like how your airblast knocks people back. And if you score a direct hit on somebody, then a flare will drop on the ground and in a couple of seconds will explode and set other people on fire. Like there, I hit that Pyro, but the flare is still on the ground. It didn't really hit anybody though, so I didn't get any use of it. It hits that Pyro though, and now I get that sniper back there that I was aiming at anyway, even though I hit somebody else. Somebody who couldn't be burned, by the way. So it does have its uses. I don't really see it as incredibly useful as a weapon. The other choices that Pyro has for secondary, all the other flare guns and the man melter are steps ahead of this weapon. I will keep using this weapon because of the knockback though. I find it hilarious. Whenever I get a kill with it, it's the same satisfaction I get when I get a kill with the homewrecker. Does that mean you should use it? Probably not. No one should ever use this weapon very, very seriously. I mean, I just did 2 damage to that Pyro. Is that going to help you kill anybody? I doubt it. What this weapon does effectively is splash damage. And when I say splash damage, it doesn't have to hit an enemy directly. You can aim for the ground around an enemy. I mean, the splash damage is still a bit tiny, a little bit less than a rocket, but you're still more likely to hit with it than a flare gun. But if you're good with the flare gun, then there's really no reason to use this. If you're good with the detonator, there's even less of a reason to use this, because this weapon has pretty much the benefits of all the other flare guns, but watered down so much that you couldn't be able to use it ever. This thing needs a buff. I do get a lot of afterburn kills with this. Not sure why. Maybe my enemies are misjudging how much damage the burning is doing to them. Maybe that's it. But I don't know. There's no way to explain it. I just get a lot of afterburn kills with it. And if Valve is making the afterburn damage more on this particular flame or flare gun, then I'd have to say, yeah, that would maybe balance it, because the first like 15 damage that it does do is utter trash. 15 damage isn't going to kill anybody unless the team has completely just worked them to the bone, in which case any other flare gun could do the same exact thing. But there, the flare gun, or the flare hitting the ground again and getting some work done on a secondary player that I didn't know I would hit. It's useful. The flare dropping onto the ground gets so many people sometimes, especially in places like chokeholds, and during a rush it's pretty good for just controlling how many people cannot be on fire in a given amount of time. But still, there's really no reason to use it. Though I did find one very, very circumstantial reason. The flare gun works, or the knockback actually works on Ubers. Yeah, it is pretty circumstantial considering a Pyro will have airblast, but if you're out of range and you desperately need to get rid of an Uber, then you can just shoot them with the flare gun and knock them back. It works well against heavies. It won't knock them back far, but heavies really move slowly. And any class that is delayed during an Uber is like another second that your team is going to have to set up or get something out of the way. Just, it saves your team some time, and maybe it'll give you another half second to get in position where you can airblast them. Still, very circumstantial. And the only other circumstance I could see this being useful is maybe if the enemy is standing right side by side next to each other for whatever reason. I don't need to know why they're doing it, but if they are, then more power to them, because I'm just going to set all of them on fire. You'll end up doing a lot of damage, I guess, but if you use the detonator right, then you're going to do the same damage with that, so no reason to use the Scorch shot if you're going to burn a lot of people. You just use the detonator. By the way, you can flare jump with this gun. It is incredibly weak, like before the detonator got buffed, that's how weak it is. So using it to get places, not really something you should do, but that option is open for you if it's just a small jump, a really tiny jump. So there's that. But I'll use it, I'll keep using it just because I do enjoy the knockback effects to a certain point, but I wish it had a buff or something that let me use it more efficiently or open it up for a competitive scene. Probably, I don't know. If it was ever used in competitive, I would laugh at whoever used it right now because it's trash in that sense. But peace out guys, this video's done. I'm gonna keep burning people.